Let's start the review with who's up aching their willow. It's stupid and it makes no sense. What does it even mean to ache a willow? Anyway, who's up aching their willow? Hi, I'm Spikes Parker Bennett, and my credentials are I also saw someone die. I also have made a cake. It was alright, it was fine. Speaking of dead people and cakes, today I am reviewing season 1 of ACHEWILLOW, a show about severe understaffing in the food service industry. It was written by J.F. Dubois and premiered in 2019, which was 6 years ago. Let's all feel old about that. The first season consists of 15 half-hour episodes. This review has spoilers! Oh! This podcast was described to me as cozy horror. Personally, I'm not really about cozy, but I am about horror, so I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it or not. In the end, it wasn't my usual fare, but I still liked it. The premise is part Hallmark movie, part murder mystery. Miriam Dufour, an ambitious young chef, inherits a small-town cafe from a dead relative and spends the entire season trying to sell it. She learns a lesson about, community and having some humility when it comes to following other people's recipes. There's also a demon that eats intestines. You know what? That rules. It's very audiobook-like, with a single narrator and minimal production. Some people don't like that in an audio drama, but I enjoyed it very much. The narrator, Amy Frost, is very skilled, although every time the main character mentions she's supposed to be 19, I get a little jump scared, because that's a grown woman talking. She's gotta be in her 30s. Because it's all narrated by one person, sometimes it's hard to tell character voices apart, although this does get better as the season goes on. There is a French character where they spend a whole paragraph talking about how he has a French accent, and then when he talks, no French accent. Come on, you coward, let's hear it. That's just me nitpicking though. I think she does a great job of capturing Miriam's personality. Let's get into the writing. It's good. I'm not sure why this is an audio drama and not the first in a series of YA novels. The creator is a published fiction writer, because I don't really see what being an audio drama adds to the story, apart from the occasional sound effect and the fact that it's more episodically written than a novel. On the other hand, I kind of love to see it. With the kids doing less reading and more posting on Tumblr about the Magnus archives, or maybe I just know a lot of transgender teenagers, audio drama is an accessible way to basically get kids to listen to audiobooks. Like covering a pill in cheese to get your dog to eat it. I don't want to get involved in this panic about, are the children illiterate? I think people will always be drawn to stories, even though the form of those stories is continually evolving. Audio drama is an exciting way of getting stories out there without the gatekeeping of traditional publishing. I clapped, and I cheered. I should also note that while there are minimal music and sound effects in the show, that is a feature, not a flaw. The lack of music means no distraction from the writing, probably makes it easier to listen to for people with audio processing disorders, and when the sound effects are used, it's usually to good effect. There's a tense scene where a sentence is interrupted by breaking glass, and I jumped. Sometimes less is more. ACHEWILLOW was written by a man, and you can't tell, which is the highest praise I have ever given anything in my entire life. Miriam is arrogant and outspoken, but with a caring side and a genuine passion for what she does. She's capable and independent. It's nice to see a female protagonist who's allowed to be those things without getting punished by the narrative. There's no romance in the first season, which I think is a good choice. It means the focus is all on Miriam and her development. It's also a good introduction to the town of ACHEWILLOW and its cast of colorful characters. Alliteration. While the central murder mystery, okay, it's not much of a mystery, there's a literal demon running around, is tied up by the end of the season, it leaves a lot of juicy threads hanging for later seasons, while still feeling complete in its own right. Hang on, there's some kind of music festival going on outside. Can you hear this shit? I think it's fine. I think this is fine. Anyway, personally, I'd love to learn more about the Inquisition or the Cloud Cult, and I'm sure I will. There's a big cast of characters which make the town feel lived in but not cluttered. I got just enough information about them to keep me wanting more, but not enough to detract from the plot. The balance is excellent. Another world-building detail I love is the fact that the town is on the US-Canadian border, with the cafe split exactly down the middle, one side in Canada, one side in the USA. It's a neat and plot-relevant detail. Also, as someone who lives on an island in the middle of nowhere, it blew my mind. You can just drive to another country? If I tried to drive to Australia, I would literally drown. Well, I would crash first because I don't have a license, but then I would drown. ACHEWILLOW's plot is predictable. You know Miriam isn't going to actually sell the cafe, and you can easily guess that the solution to the demon problem is probably going to be cooking related. But I don't think that's a bad thing. It's nice to see, listen to, such a neat and well-executed setup and payoff. My one gripe with the writing is that the episode structure gets a bit repetitive. Miriam wakes up, Miriam opens the cafe, customers are annoying, something supernatural happens, Miriam talks to the police, Miriam thinks about selling the cafe, Miriam goes to bed. Also, you can't expect me to believe that a 19-year-old is running this cafe all by herself. It's the most popular cafe in town, with people queuing up outside even before it opens. She's the only employee, acting as baker, cleaner, front of house, owner, manager. I understand this is supposed to be wish fulfillment of working in a cozy cafe and not having to worry about rent or job security, but it sounds like a fucking nightmare. Like, how is this girl not entirely burned out? I work in a tiny retail shop on a shift that only gets like 20 customers, and that stresses me out. I had a lady ask me what side buttons are supposed to be on for women's shirts. I'm transgender. This is a gender-neutral clothing store. I was not aware there were secret button gender roles. She was offended when I didn't know. In conclusion, ACHEWILLOW is good, and I liked it. The customers were endearing, the writing is satisfying and professional quality, the production is non-distracting. I'd recommend it to fans of quote-unquote cozy fantasy like the works of Becky Chambers, Travis Baldry, and TJ Klune, or female-led audio dramas with folklore elements like Autumn or Mabel. Don't go in expecting extreme horror, but do expect a charming show with just a hint of bite. Will I listen to season 2? It's likely, especially if I have to go on a road trip in the near future. Next week, I'll review Brittle Tourniquet, a show about a supervillainess, and tongue, according to the cover art. Exciting.